Welcome to another episode of Street Career Chat with Laith Chalitori. Today we have Girth, painter. Let's hear from him what you do for work.
I'm the owner of Painted Predators here in Calgary. We breed quality colubrid snakes. That is like corn snakes, king snakes, milk snakes, rat snakes for the pet trade.
This is so far the interesting one, and I'm super happy to know more about how did you get into the pet and snake breeding. Tell us your story.
If you want to get into snake breeding, it's a lot of hard work. It's kind of like farming. For a snake to reach its maturity to be able to breed, it takes 3 years. So for 3 years, you are cleaning up after that animal, you're feeding that animal, you're providing all the necessaries of life for that animal. And I have 40 snakes, so I do quite a bit of work. I have one helper who works with me, and to know how to make the different colors and patterns in snakes, you have to really understand the genetics.
What was your first initiative to start in the pet, also snake breeding?
I actually got my first snake in 2016 from a friend of mine, and then I learned about the expos that are held, the reptile expos held here in Calgary, and I started attending those, and I was meeting some of the people who breed these snakes for a living. And I realized the only difference between me and themselves was they had figured out the science and how to do it. I started learning about the science and became fascinated, and then started acquiring more snakes and more equipment, and it's just grown into from a little hobby to a very small business.
That's actually very inspiring. So what did you do before 2016?
Well, I run this as a side business. I still have my day job, but I do administrative work here downtown. And I'm also involved with a street outreach group delivering supplies to the homeless here in Calgary.
Your 24 hours is accounted for pretty much everything.
Pretty much, yes. I also do quite a bit of volunteer work, so I like to give back to the community. I'm always busy, but I'm always happy.
I'm sure people who are listening to this can really take a big lesson. So here in Calgary, you said reptile. Can you tell us more about
Reptile
it?
Expos?
Yes.
Yes, the Reptile Expos are hosted by the Alberta Reptile and Amphibian Society, and I'm their vice president. And we bring in about 60 or so vendors for each show. We're hoping to do another expo here in the fall in Calgary. We've got all kinds of different vendors from snakes, amphibians, lizards, spiders, just something for everybody, as well as some artists that come in too and showcase their artwork for sale.
I'm actually phobic to snakes. I don't know why. I'm originally from India, and we have a lot of snakes in there.
And they're all venomous.
All venomous, especially the way they move.
Yes.
It just make me phobic towards them. I never explored that as a pet. I always have run away from snakes. I'm sure you might have seen a lot of people like this. Would you like to share any advice for those people who are phobic to snakes?
Best way I could say is just to approach the animal with confidence. It's not in the snake's nature to bite you. If it's not venomous, it can't hurt you. Just go explore. You can see me walking around Whitehorn. I take mine out for walks, and my neighbors are from a similar area in the world, and they have a bit of an aversion to snakes, but once we stop and we talk, and they're more curious than afraid.
Makes sense. You do have a full-time job, then you have your own passion. How are you going to take it to next level? What's your plans?
This year's actually been a growth year for me. I'm producing more snakes this year than I have in previous years, which will then generate more income. I've hired a new employee. To just keep growing is you got to keep producing more animals, but you have to stay relevant on social media. You have to have your website going. People need to know who you are, and you need to have a good reputation. So if people think you're unethical with your breeding practices, they aren't going to buy your animals, and that's just not good for the animal. It's not good for the keeper. It's a lot of work. Always have a good reputation no matter what you do in life.
Thank you so much.